So something that I've noticed a lot with high school players is that throughout a warm-up or throughout their process of getting ready for a game, it seems like there's a lack of purpose or a lack of routine or just kind of that they're aimlessly getting ready for a game. And I was just trying to focus on how can we remind these guys of what a solid routine looks like, what goes into that, and what's the purpose behind it.
Yeah, I mean, the games are fun. Like, I don't want any of the kids to think that it's not just enjoyable to be there and be an experience and just smash baseballs or prepare for be able to throw on the mound. But like the feels we're trying to create, the preparation we're trying to build to get ready for this game is like super important, or in between bats. And so if you go to where we prepare, let's go to on deck circle. So think of okay, how do guys or girls on deck or even in the hole kind of prepare themselves body-wise, mentally, everything to get in this position to all right, I'm ready to hit or I'm ready to compete. And I see time is a big part of it, making sure you're in time. But I think honestly, we see good hitters, they're working on a very specific feel. They're going through a routine of I'm thinking of either really good directional path, some kind of load move while they're timing up the hitters or the pitchers, but also just taking full swings. Because I kind of translate this you're hitting, you have a 2.5 hour game. You might you'll be just swinging for about maybe at bat for 7 minutes of it. And then even on that, you're on deck circle, maybe you got about a minute or so, and then let's say, okay, when are you actually taking full speed, preparing your body for explosive movements? And usually what happens is the kids just sit there like this, right? They're on deck just kind of and then they don't actually take any big hacks.
Just going through the motions.
Yeah, and they might time it up, but they're not preparing their body. But if I had you a guy doing a PR jumping as high as he could, it wouldn't be okay, just stand there, just kind of yeah, all right. No, they'd be doing extra time, trying to work, and they go, okay, let's go. So same thing as on deck with their putting, yeah, we're timing them up and working on specific moves, but then okay, now I'm in between that. I'm gonna take at least 4 or 5 full speed swings to prime the body for what it's asking for, which is swinging your fastest velocity, right? On that side of stuff, the other preparation is no one figures it out right away. I think it's using bits and pieces of, as a hitter, when you learn, okay, this actually helps me prepare, right? How I sprint before games, how I, do extra throwing in between, whatever it is, to prepare myself. And kids will ask, athletes ask, so what should you? I was dude, you're always refining your process. What's too much? What's not enough? What works for me versus somebody else? Some might want to have to activate more. Others don't need to activate as much, but they really need to make sure, they're in stretch routine, whatever it is. So I think the thing is just continue to test it out in a game, okay, this activation for my body or my routine off wiffle balls or whatever the coaches gives me opportunity to get ready for the game, or obviously on deck, this actually works. And then you kind of stick with that thing, and then you don't like a piece, you remove it. But the fun thing about the sport, I think, more than anything else, is it's trial and error. It's just basically like a dartboard. You just keep throwing it down there. You're hoping you get to that bullseye. But even around that bullseye, there's still points, and they're still better than not doing anything at all.
Right, and that routine is super important for giving you that direction. Instead of just going up there and throwing that dart, right? It gives us more of something like a baseline that I can work off of and get back to. We struggle a lot in this game, but if we have a routine that can help us kind of stay grounded and keep us in a good direction, it's a lot easier to kind of get back to that.
Then I think it is. And I think the one thing that's lost a lot, which coaches harp on, is watching the pitcher when you're not preparing to hit and just seeing his tendencies, seeing where he's missing, what he's doing after the first, he shows fastball, okay, what's that curveball really look like in elevation, to start building your mind what the window I'm looking for, or what it is I'm going after. And also the communication from the hitters, which I think they do a really bad job, is what's this ball do? One hitter, one leadoff hitter, whoever it is, one guy seeing a ball is now going to be able to give that information way better than a scouting report.
Yeah.
Because they're knowing in real time, hey, his ball moves a little bit right to left, or it's got more depth to it. His curveball looks a lot more this one actually has it's pretty tight and really drops. So now we have a good idea, hey, what to expect versus oh shoot, I haven't seen that pitch. Well, the information's been passed on. And the scouting reports are great, but in the past, I remember when verbal communication of what that looked like was just as much in preparation for everyone else as it was for myself, right? So
yeah, that's really good. I think that's something that a lot of hitters like forget. We get so lost in the mechanics and we forget to just go out there and compete. And having that direction, having that game plan, using your teammates a ton. It's something that I think it's lost in that this is still a team sport. We have a lot of individual moments, right? But that you have so many resources around you that you can help yourself out just to make sure that the stat that really matters is the win.
It is. And I think take the players that want to play as far as they can, it's their ability to take information, gather and execute, right? And the hungriness or being hungry for knowing and watching the game and taking something, like how his pick is at first base. Like these little things when you're watching, like all of a sudden you go out there and you're not surprised.
Right.
And unless you are the #1 draft pick, physical, all that stuff, like everyone else is in this bucket of like, what's going to separate you? And a lot of it is just the ability to like basically have the baseball IQ that's accelerating everyone else. Because everything else, arm strength, all that stuff, we're all in this like bucket. It's like we're all kind of in the same area. There's there's different breadth of it, but like we're all trying to fight for very small scraps. But the separation I see a lot of kids is just student looking at the game. Man, I saw how his tendency was, his arm action, the ball in the dirt, even like on the defensive side, how he swings and make him. I'm going to position myself here based off his swing, and this pitcher's throwing his outside corner. Like these little things that I learned over time, like I think really did help me. And I think any good athlete, they learn faster than anyone else. And then the ones that take too long to learn, the game's over, right? And that's like school. Like you got to keep learning, you got to keep growing. You can't just do the same thing for. Let's just think about it. Can you imagine being a student in 5th grade and you get all this information, but you may retain the same information? As in like all this stuff from history and all this stuff until you're 18 years old and you're like, nope, I'm just going to stick with my 5th grade knowledge.
Right.
And hitters and baseball players sometimes stay in that like, I don't really adjust anything. I don't learn anything. And all of a sudden I'm trying to compete and at a higher level with not actually taking information in. Versus like we should be accelerating. Like, yeah, I gotta, when I'm 18, I should definitely I should be at the IQ of a 22-year-old, right? If I can get that mindset, then like you have the ability to make this game slow down a little bit.
Really slow down.
Also predict things, because baseball is predictable at times. Allow them to put yourself in position to like go, hey, he really knows where to be. In every single spot, he knows what to swing at, and it's more because he or she just pulls that information quickly, watches because they love learning what's happening in the game, so they don't make the same mistake.
Yeah, it's a super difficult game. Having a solid routine, good process, and just finding ways to simplify can help make that adjustment to just slow that game down so much more.
You gotta love it. Like in the end, like anything you love, if you love it, you'll work really hard at it. You'll want more of that stuff, and I think that is in the end, like if you enjoy this game, you'll go down that deep route of like what is it gonna take for me to just play as long as possible, and you don't worry about the future of college or making the high school team. You just go, if I keep getting better, improving, learning something, there's a chance I'll get to keep playing. Is the next day I get to play? The next day all of a sudden it could turn into a college career or professional career, which is getting harder and harder, or major league career, but it's just next day.